Let's raise the big questions tonight. Questions that many other channels will perhaps not raise. How did Prajwal Revanna get a ticket for the Lok Sabha despite these sex tape allegations? Was it his grandfather Devegowda who was protecting him all through? Who tipped off Prajwal to flee the country within hours of the polling? And do politicians across the board and party lines get away with predatory behavior like this? These are some of the questions we'll raise. Pramila Nesargi is advocate Karnataka High Court. She's also worked with the National Commission for Women and is close to the BJP. Tanveer Ahmed is political analyst and columnist who was part of the JDS, and I think we should say that he was a former JDS spokesperson. Tara Krishnaswamy is co-founder Political Shakti, a women's group based in Karnataka, and Sanjay Sahai, former ADGP Karnataka. And I want to come to you, Mr. Sahai, first, because this is pretty shocking. The manner in which someone who's facing these serious allegations seems to be able to leave the country, and these allegations have been swirling for a while. It's taken so long. Suddenly the Karnataka government also has woken up to what's happened, appointed an SIT, and Prajwal Revanna in the middle of the election has gone away, and all these complaints are coming now from one woman after the other. One now, and we're told 5 more are lined up. What does this suggest to you, Sanjay Sahai?
See, basically, in the Hassan district, as per the public domain knowledge, so these tapes have been around at least from 3 days before the elections were conducted on 26th of last month. And these tapes were kept at bus stations and in buses and a variety of other places. Given that fact in mind, it was in public knowledge, it hit the national media only much later. So the concerned suspect or the accused, he was aware of it, and that is why he acted in this manner.
No, so but Mr. Sai, the fact is that he got a gag order from the court last year. So these tapes are not new. Last year itself, he got a gag order. The tapes have been doing the rounds for more than a year, sir.
Correct, Rajiv. See, tapes are not new, and he has got a court injunction. That is also a reality. And I think much before that, when the political deliberations were on, it was told that there are things of this nature which are there in the public domain and it might go against him. So tapes have been there, and police and other regulatory agencies have the suo motu powers to register a case and investigate a case. So that has certainly not happened.
No, so why did the police not act then? The question will be if the Karnataka police also, I'll come to the questions about the political parties, but why did the police not act even if these tapes were doing the rounds more than a year ago?
See, there are two things. One is whether you waited for a complainant to come, or you can take it suo motu. So suo motu, it has not happened. And finally, even when the tapes were there for last couple of days, I think 26 was the election day, so might be 3-4 days before that, 3 days before that, these tapes in pen drives have been left all around the place. So from that period till the time the complainant came and gave a complaint, only then the investigation started, and finally SIT has been constituted. So that gap is there. That gap is certainly there.
And do you see anything odd about the manner in which he has been allowed to flee? I mean, I use the word flee because his family is saying that he had gone on a routine trip, but it seems very odd that within a couple of hours of the polling getting over, he goes to Germany. Next morning, this complaint becomes public knowledge. It almost seems someone tipped him off, sir.
See, when a large number of such tapes are all around the place, and there is a likelihood that there might be action, and the connect between the registration of the FIR and the person leaving the country, whatever the case might be. Now that connect can only be established when the FIR is registered and then the whole thing happens. So this connect is primarily depends on chronology. And then you can take a call depending on the whole background as to how things have happened and things of progress. These will add up into whether that finally you come to a logical conclusion that he fled with collusion, or it was a part of his regular movement. So that I leave to the SIT to decide upon it.
I'll come to the chronology and I'll give our viewers the chronology so they understand the entire case in a moment. But I want to get you in, Tanveer Ahmed, because you were with the Janata Dal secular. You're close to Devegowda. The buzz is that there were local BJP leaders who had warned the BJP leadership both in Bengaluru and in Delhi, do not allow someone like Prajwal Revanna to get a ticket. And yet Devegowda insisted. And the BJP, because they were so keen on the alliance, backed off. I mean, what is the truth? Why did HD Devegowda protect a son against whom there were these serious complaints, not just now, but over, for the last 6 months. It was in December that the local BJP leader wrote a letter to the BJP leadership saying, please don't give this man a ticket.
Absolutely right, Rajiv Sardesai. Let's really understand that he is not the Prime Minister of BJP, he is the Prime Minister of India. Today, what is the international face the Prime Minister is going to carry? Because we as Karyakartas of, ex-Karyakarta of JDS, we all were knowing about this. We had tried to discuss this on several occasions, much before any BJP leader writing a letter. A couple of JDS leaders had really gone ahead. But here there is a word in Karnataka, we say Putra Vyamoh. The love towards your children and grandchildren has absolutely taken away such a great man, Devegowda. I have huge respect for him. I don't know why he had to really swayed away with Putra Vyamoh. But however, the onus of responsibility and the question should definitely be asked to a couple of people.
Did HD Devegowda know all the details of this, or do you believe Mr. Devegowda, who is now of course in his 90s, was not even aware of this, or do you believe he was aware of it?
I have not seen a man who has detailed information on every matter. And I would not really believe that HD Devegowda ji was not knowing about it. I would not like to believe. Maybe at the age of 92, 91, he might, but his attention to details on every matter is humongous, great, and nobody parallel to Devegowda. Because I have learned politics from Devegowda. 10 years I was very close to him. I am still. But keeping Devegowda's issue aside, let's really ask a few questions.
I can't hear
Honorable
anything.
Prime Minister and his intelligence, I'm sure they might have.
Yeah, go ahead.
Of such low caliber, how can the Prime Minister come and do campaigning for a man like Prajwal Revanna? Why is Smriti Irani keeping quiet? And the motor mouth who comes on your television every day, Shahzad Poonawala, where is that motor mouth who comes, who has script writers, who write script for him, and he comes and just reads the script without even analyzing those scripts? Where are they? Today the onus of responsibility is much more than on JDS, it is on BJP. Are they going to continue the partnership is one question. Are they really going to give a ministership to JDS? Second question. Are they going to allow the JDS leaders to campaign along with them is third question. I think BJP needs to definitely answer this.
But Tanveer Ahmed, the primary responsibility is of the Gowda family. Today the Gowda family is saying that we are going to distancing themselves from Prajwal Revanna, but they are the ones who insisted on him getting a ticket. Now the point is, the HD Devegowda, as you said, Putra Moha, or in this case, Grand Putra Moha, is a question mark. But the truth of the matter, this is a very tightly run family party. The family decides. So if the family forces a decision that no, we will only take Prajwal Revanna despite all these charges, what does it say about this party called the JDS, of which you were a part?
I think as usual, they were planning to manage it at lastminute.com, but they failed. I think the things really went out of hand just before the election. We all know how the pen drives and the memory chips were thrown where Congress programs were, where JDS programs were happening. But that's, we all were knowing. But however, is it not a failure of the intelligence agencies who report to Prime Minister, who give a report, where is Priyanka Gandhi today, where is Rahul Gandhi yesterday, where is Rajdeep Sardesai today? When they have all that information, don't you think the Prime Minister of India and the intelligence agencies were having enough and more information to say, if this is the man, I'm not going to campaign? And today, HD Kumaraswamy comes on television channel and he says, we have nothing to do. Devegowda is separate and Revanna is separate. We all knew from the day one, we all know that blood is always thicker than the water. This is the blood relationship. It is not the water relationship like mine.
It is blood.
And you threw a lot of leaders like me under the bus. This is the blood relationship. How are they going to throw the blood under the bus?
Okay. How are they going to, you make a good point. How are they going to throw the blood under the bus? Blood runs thicker than water. Pramila Nesargi, How do you respond to what you've heard? I mean, the fact is that here is someone who over the last year has been under the shadow of these sex tapes, went and got a gag order from the court to prevent these tapes from being put out. Now, on the eve of the election, these tapes come out in the public domain, and there's huge embarrassment. What does this suggest to you? And I don't see a word from the National Commission of Women or all the women bodies as well at the statutory level. All of this is deeply troubling, Pramila Nesargi. How do you respond?
You want me an answer as an advocate or as a public?
You tell me. It's your, the floor
Which
is yours.
Answer you want?
I want your answer as a citizen, as a woman, a citizen, a lawyer.
I was speaking. I will answer you both. I was surprised when Tanvir Ahmad was speaking. He was with the same party. He was kith and kin with Devegowda and other family. If he were there in that party, what he would have spoken, I know. Just because he has left the party and joined Congress, he is speaking something different, having a second tongue. I just want to tell you what the rule of law. Myself, yourself, the TVs or any political party are bound by the rule of law. Have you seen the committee that has been formed? Have you seen the complaint that has been filed? And have you seen the SIT that has been framed? What is the offence that according to their complaint? 4 sections, the 359A and D, and then 506 and 509. Do you know all these offences are make-believe stories? They were in the public domain. Their punishment is hardly 3 years. In that means, so 468 of
no, so are you saying these are make-believe stories? No, 1 minute, ma'am. Ma'am, are you saying
they
these are
barred by law? That is the Congress has, I will tell you, Congress has made this SIT only to make use of it in the coming election in the 3rd phase in the North Karnataka. Only because of that. Not because that they are not. They know fully well that there is no offence. They know fully well the section they have put is barred under section 468 of the Criminal Procedure Code and they cannot be convicted. So why? What is all this?
Okay.
See, morally, I don't agree with whatever the Prajwal Revanna has done or whatever that has been coming in the public domain. In fact, I myself have filed a case and a matter is pending in the Supreme Court in regarding the election petition. I am not talking about the merits of the case. Merits of the case, what I am worried is, I am not worried least about Prajwal Revanna or anyone. The Congress or any other party, no business to bring about Devegowda's name.
Okay, I'm going to. I've heard you, ma'am. Ma'am, just a minute. I have more voices on the show.
Please give me 2 minutes. I will tell you, Mr. Tanvir, I am aware of you. You know what is running in your mind.
Okay, put the voice, fade it out, ma'am. Ma'am, I want the focus. It's a serious issue which we must focus on. Even beyond the politics that is involved, we are in the midst of an election. But Tara Krishna Swami, it's surprising that all these tapes come across on the eve of the 2nd phase of elections. There is Pramila Nesargi raising questions over the way in which this SIT is suddenly formed. When the Karnataka police could, well, some believe, have acted months earlier, given the fact that many of these tapes reportedly were available at the time. And when you look at the FIR, there will be questions raised whether now this is enough for the government to prosecute Revanna. How do you respond, given also the silence that we are seeing from the National Commission for Women or other statutory bodies?
Rajdeep, every time there's crimes against women, it ends up being politicized. There are parties that turn individual personal vendetta crimes or intimate partner violence into love jihad. And then there are parties where you have large scale crimes like this, and even the National Commission doesn't even utter a word on this. So at the end of all of this, what happens is that gender violence is kind of thrown under the bus and not taken to be a serious enough issue, where it is actually a grievous crime. So
no, why is that? Tara Krishna Swami, let me point out, and I'll put out a graphic to show how many such cases involving politicians have come up in recent times. In Karnataka alone, there have been several gag orders of politicians who have gone to court and got gag orders against CDs. In fact, one Karnataka bureaucrat told me, ED is not the problem here, CD is the problem. We've seen the Sandesh Kali case in 2024, TMC leaders including Shahjahan Sheikh under the scanner. We've seen Brij Bhushan Saran Singh, BJP MP, accused of harassing female wrestlers, but nothing's happened to him. Ramesh Jarkhioli, BJP, stepped down as minister after a video was aired by Kannada news channels. You've got Kuldeep Singh Sengar, former BJP MLA, convicted in 2017, rape and murder, eventually expelled from the party. You've got Sandeep Kumar, AAP, sacked as Delhi minister after a video of him with a woman surfaced. So there is no shortage of cases. Mahipal Maderna quit as Rajasthan minister after being linked to the disappearance of a nurse. N.D. Tiwari, you will recall, quit as Andhra governor after a local TV channel aired a video of him with women. All these cases, and Karnataka particularly, as I said, several gag orders. What does it show? You remember there was a case in Karnataka Assembly where people were sharing sex tape clips in the assembly. Why is it that there is an impunity that people feel they can get away?
I think this is exactly why the notion of a state commission or a national commission was even created, so that you have a set of people that are not politically affiliated. They're not meant to be politically affiliated, and they are meant to take the side of the marginalized. Whether it is SC/ST commission, whether it is women's commission, that is the purpose of such a body. However, such bodies are routinely appointed with either dummies or people that simply don't take their job seriously. Or when they get the position, I think they don't ask the powers that be whether they can operate with, whether they'll be given the freedom to operate in the genuine interest of the constituents that they are meant to serve. Otherwise, you won't have this kind of selective outrage about certain cases, selective pursuance of certain issues, and a complete, it's really weird. You have tomorrow, Mr. Amit Shah is going to visit the home of Neha, the woman who was brutally murdered by her own partner. So that is a case of a single woman, as tragic as it gets. The Home Minister of the country is going to visit her home because there's an election. On the other hand, you have a case brewing where their own candidate, for whom the Prime Minister himself stood on stage and campaigned, asked for votes personally. It has now, tapes have emerged showing coercion, allegations of rape, FIR has been filed, multiple women are supposed to be coming forward, and you have nary a word from either the Women's Commission or the political party in alliance with this, when the highest officers in the country have put their, staked their credibility on his candidacy. So this is, it feels like, as far as women's issues are concerned, it is always politics that precedes, doing the right thing.
Can I make, Mr. Sahai, are the police officers also caught in the middle? This is an election time, political tug of war. You've got the Congress hitting the streets on this issue in Karnataka. It becomes almost very difficult for even policing to take place. Same thing happened with the Neha case in a different sense. It's been politicized. What is a terrible, gruesome crime suddenly becomes a political battleground. And therefore, the police seems to find it difficult to do policing. It all depends on who has influence, who has connections with whom.
See, if you take this whole thing as a chess game and checks and balances being played and police being caught in the vortex of things, I think that will be really surprising for me. What is expected out of them, and in large number of cases, I would not claim that in 100% of the cases, but large number of cases, when there are sensational cases, you get into the crime part of it. And when you get into the crime part of it, now whether there are also claims that some of these videos are morphed. If you get into pure digital evidence and you get into video forensics and put the pieces together, I don't think in present day and age, with the capability of video forensics and large number of metadata available, to plug all these loopholes and come up with a investigative narrative which will actually fix the accused, I think it is a very doable thing.
But will this case, sir, in simple language, will the case lead to its logical conclusion? You see, if this man was not the grandson of a former Prime Minister of the country, he would by now certainly have been called in, hauled in, and you would have made sure that there was a proper investigation against him. Because he's a VVIP, the sense is once the elections are over, will the heat go off him? We've seen in the past, politicians get away once the media focus on them goes away. So will a Prajwal Revanna get away is the worry that many people will have.
Rajdeep, I will neither go by the smoke screen that is created, nor will I go by that as the time passes, things will get into the cold storage. Given the gravity of the case and given the nature of cases which CID has investigated, which I have been a part at least on 2 occasions, the cases have reached their logical conclusion. And in this particular case, because there is a video footage and variety of video footages which are available. So if you get into when it was created, how it was created, doctored, not doctored, I think this is one typical case where I think the whole case can be built up on pure scientific, technological, cyber forensic evidence. Okay. Now the other part, Rajdeep, which you are talking about of the smoke screen which is created and slowly it will pass into cold storage and variety of other things. As a professional police officer, I would not like to take a very clear-cut stand that this will happen this way or it will happen that way. But if SIT is created, and we have seen in other cases also when Karnataka SIT has been there, so things have gone to a logical conclusion. Might be there be some delay or there has happened some delay. But otherwise, I think the facts of the case clearly prove that the witnesses are coming, the complainants are coming, most of the details are generally not being debated. The videos are in public domain, whether they're morphed, doctored, not doctored, that authenticity, timing, chronology, I think all these things can be pieced together in a very, very comprehensive manner, intensive manner, and a clear-cut narrative, and we will be able to reach to a logical conclusion.
Okay.
As far as the case is concerned, I don't think it is some case which has a nature of complexity which cannot be managed.
You know, Tanveer Ahmed, as I said, this is not the first such case of this kind to come up in Karnataka involving the alleged sexual scandals of some of your politicians. I just wonder whether there will be deterrent if action is taken. Do you really see, once the elections are over, action being taken in this case? Because there's one view that all of this is being done with one eye on the elections.
Rajdeep, we need to really understand there is a difference between the previous cases and this. ND Tiwari, one, and Jarkiholi, one woman. But here it is thousands. The pictures are coming, the videos are going.
No, there are 1,000 video clips. Let me be very clear. Sir, I have been told by an officer that there are more than 2,000 video clips. We don't know whether there are thousands of women. I want to do a fact check. These are claims which are being made at the moment. Women have not come forward yet.
Rajdeep, over a period of time, those women are alive and kicking. They would definitely come, if not today, tomorrow, if not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, they would certainly come. Because we all believe respect of a woman is much above everything. And I'm sure they will come. But however, I'm sure that I believe in the SIT which is formed, I'm sure they are going to go to a logical conclusion. But here, three questions. One, if Prajwal Revanna, according to few sources, he's saying that it is morphed, why did he run away? Second thing, why did Kumaraswamy come today on a national television, on public platform and say that I and my family has nothing to do with Prajwal Revanna? 2. 3. Why did two women come here who were working, who had given? It really shows, if at all you join the dots, the devil is in details. And I'm sure Prajwal ran away because he was knowing that he's accused, and I don't think he's going to come back for a long time.
Well, that would be very, very tragic if an MP, someone contesting for an MP seat in Hassan, has run away from the law and will not come back. That would be a huge embarrassment to the JDS, to its allies, and indeed Karnataka itself. But I have run out of time. We will continue to track this story. We will give every little dimension of this story in the weeks and months ahead to see that somehow all the details, all the various angles of this story are covered up.